Okay everyone, so for today's Christmas DIY, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you how to create a gorgeous traditional centerpiece step by step. And I'm going to start by sharing with you this beautiful urn that actually belongs to my mother. I hope that if she's watching this video, she's not like, oh, that's my urn. But I'm going to create a beautiful arrangement on this urn. I'm going to use some beautiful gold flyaways, some matte berries, some greenery, and of course some traditional color poinsettias that I believe it goes so well with this beautiful container. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these poinsettias for now, and I'm gonna transfer my flyaways over to this side so that I can get started in giving you all of the steps for this beautiful DIY. Now, if you are new to the channel, be sure to consider subscribing, and while you subscribe, don't forget to turn the notification bell on because you will not want to miss any of the upcoming Christmas DIYs. The month of November, you guys, is going to be filled with Christmas DIYs and decorating ideas, and of course my home tour. So be sure to turn that bell on so you don't miss any of them. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm gonna start by adding some beautiful greenery, but before I do that, I want to mention that I put my foam in, I put some of this moss in, and then I grabbed some of my gauge wire, and I went ahead and add some S hooks into the foam to make sure that that foam doesn't move. So what I do is I like to do like a bobby pin. They also sell these S hooks at Hobby Lobby if you go shopping. I have some, I just don't know where they are right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring my greenery and I'm gonna start right here. This is how tall I want my centerpiece to be. Then I'm gonna go over to the left and just making sure that it goes on the foam really well, so that way it's not going to fall apart. So what I'm going to do is remember what happens on the right happens on the left, and what goes up must come down. So then we're going to do the corners. So I'm gonna move over to this side right here. I want it to be wild and uneven because that is the most beautiful shape for me, is when it is not so meticulously placed. What you do need to do is make sure that you cover all of this foam right here with some of your greenery, and that way you don't see your mechanics, what we call in the industry. You don't want to be able to see all of those mechanics. So remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, and then immediately you spin around and you go over to the other side, and then you do the same thing. So now I'm going to cover this corner right here. I am going to put this guy right in here. Remember, the premise of the greenery is to cover the foam so you don't see most of it. And we're gonna cover as much as we can with it. So I'm going to go ahead and add one right here on the top, and then one right here. Remember, by adding in the corners to cover some of these mechanics as well. So I'm gonna put one right here. Then immediately I move to this side, right on this side. So this is what it looks like right now. I'm going to get a second greenery and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. All right, so now I have brought some of these beautiful David Christopher's eucalyptus. And you guys know that when I am making a centerpiece or an arrangement, I like to mix some of my greeneries so that way it looks more natural. In the floral industry, when we're making floral bouquets, we like to add as many types of foliages as possible so that way our bouquets look more natural. And you know, I had a boss that said that at least one local greenery make your arrangements look more like they belong in that region. Like let's say when I lived in Kansas, if it was spring, we used to like to use bushes like spirea, the grew local, and then also forsythia in the spring, the grew local, so that way our bouquets look like they were basically made in Kansas. And so I really do recommend that if you have some shrubs or bushes around the yard, if you live in a foresty area, right now is a perfect time to use some of that, what Mother Nature produces, so that way we can make it look more natural. All right, so far so good. That's what's going to look like as far as my greenery goes. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of these beautiful poinsettias that I am in love with, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them all at once because you guys know that I like to do that to save me time. And so I'm going to cut right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's start with this 6. And so it comes with this foliage right here. So what you need to do is you give your poinsettia a little bit of a fluff, and I do want her to spill out as far as possible because this is going to go on an entryway table, so I want it to be as wide as possible. So I'm gonna go right there. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, and what I like to do is always I like to what I say, mark my height or my length, and then I'll also like to mark my height. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one facing north and the other one facing south like this, and then I'm going to spin around and I'm going to cover right in here with this poinsettia going down a little further down. So now I'm going to bring my other bush and I'm going to cut them all at once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you are using 12 poinsettias total. All right, so now I'm going to save that one because it's longer. So I'm gonna bring a shorter one. See this type of foliage right here that comes with your poinsettia, don't pitch it, just go ahead and add it into your container, and that's going to help me use some of that greenery so it looks more natural. All right, so I'm gonna add one right here. And then I'm gonna grab another one and I'm going to make it spill forward. So I'm gonna go over on this corner right here. Then I'm going to go all the way to the other side and I'm gonna do the same by giving it a little bit of a curvature. And I just absolutely love this traditional palette because it is what Christmas to me is like. You know, to create some beautiful traditional DIYs is one of my favorite things of the holiday season, especially this time of the year. All right, so I'm gonna add one right there. Then I'm going to come over and do another one spilling forward right here. And I have one left one, but you know what? Okay, I'm gonna put it on this corner right here. I'm gonna give it a curvature and I'm gonna add this guy right here. So this is what it looks like so far. It is just a whole bunch of poinsettias, which is fine. But now we're going to start to have fun. And remember our flyaways, you guys. These are our gold flyaways. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add one right here. And then I'm going to add another one. Remember, what goes up must come down. So you always want to make sure that you do that motion so that way you are covering your arrangement. And then you spin around and you do the same thing on the other side. And remember, these guys just basically pull apart. I'll show you how. So all you have to do is pull on that stem and all of that beautiful glittered flyaway will come out. So I'm gonna add one right here. And then I'm going to add one right here. Then I'm going to spin around and look how absolutely beautiful the burgundy and the gold look together. It is one of my favorite Christmas combinations. To me, screams Christmas. By the way, what is your favorite Christmas combination to decorate with? Be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. Okay, so now I'm going to add one over on this side and I'm gonna try to make it come out as far as possible. So that way it continues to spill forward. Do you see that right there? And actually I'm gonna do both corners. I'm gonna do another one over here. And look, that just creates that drama going down. I'm gonna pull some more from this stem right here. You guys, I'm having so much fun this holiday season, sharing with you all of these beautiful Christmas decorating ideas and DIYs, and I really hope that you are as well. If you are, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and then also share with your friends because that really helps the channel and then it's free. So why not support this channel? If you want to support this channel too, you can become a member of the channel, and so that way we make sure that we are creating all of these DIYs. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I have this berry right here that is matte. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start adding this berry right here. I'm gonna add as much possible as I can, and remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, so I have to move to the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing in this corner right here. So I'm gonna add some longer ones like I did on this corner. So I'm gonna grab a longer one over here, and then I'm gonna start filling in with my berries all throughout my centerpiece, so that way it's all throughout and it looks cohesive. You want to make sure that you have all of the materials everywhere, so that way your centerpiece is filled and it just looks beautiful. I'm gonna add this one right here. I'm gonna bring her forward like this. And so I'm going to, let me see, spin around. I'm gonna add one right here. All right, so far so good, but you know what I decided to do is I'm going to elongate this centerpiece even further. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of these flyaways and I'm gonna spread them apart like this. Make sure that I pull all of these beautiful, see, these ones glued together because that's how they come. All you have to do is just set it apart like that. And then what you want to do is just give it a curvature like this. And I'm going to add this guy right in here, making sure that I go through my foam. And look at that. Oh my gosh, isn't that absolutely beautiful? I'm gonna do one more. So just separate all of them, pull apart like this, and then go right here and go into the foam. And at this point it's getting really tight. Look how pretty that is. And then I'm going to do the last one on the top. So basically just separate them like this. I'm gonna give a little bit of curvature like this, bend it down, and then I'm going to go all the way up. And look how that just created a long and narrow centerpiece. But there's a few more elements that I'm going to add and we'll be done. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so I am back and this is what our centerpiece is looking like. Well, now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of my wire and I'm gonna put out my, I think it is a 18 gauge wire. And what I like to do is grab my 18 gauge wire and then I'm gonna cut them in half. So that's gonna give us, instead of 2, it's gonna give us 4. And that's going to allow us to play with our ornaments. And I think that adding a few ornaments, it would be so pretty. So what you need to do is just bend the little top like this, pull your ornament through and close it. So that way it gives you like a stem, but you have to make sure that that's closed so that ornament doesn't come crashing down. So you have this long stem right here. And so look what I'm going to do. I'm gonna insert that right there and look at that. So the beauty of this is because it'll allow us to do clusters of 2s. Once again, all you have to do is bend that, make like an S hook, hook your ornament. It's almost like a fishing hook. Then, but you have to make sure that you close it so that ornament doesn't have to come crashing down. And then I'm gonna add yet another one right here. Now you could do this with not only ornaments, but also with pine cones. You can attach basically just anything, and look at that. That gives us a cluster right here. So I'm going to spin around this side right here. I'm gonna grab yet another one. Remember to make that S hook. Hook your ornament. Close it. It has to be a 22 gauge wire because it's really thick. And so that way it's like a stem. And so now what I'm going to is I'm gonna open right here. I'm gonna insert right there. And now I'm gonna grab a glittered one, just to be different on the other side. Once again, just make a hook, hook your ornament, and close it. This is the hard part because it's a really stiff wire, as you guys can see. So closing it is like the hard part, but once you get it done, you grab that stem, and then you insert right here, like that. And look at that. How cute is this, right? Well, we're not done. There's one last element I want to add. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna put the centerpiece over to this side to share with you real quick this absolutely gorgeous bejeweled ribbon. I have about I don't even know how much this is. It's this much. So what we're going to do is I'm going to look how absolutely stunning. It has that burgundy and that gold. So basically what I wanna do is give it a tail like this to let it hang out. Then I'm going to grab right here and I'm going to twist, letting another tail hang out like that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a wire that is already pre-taped, and then I'm going to pull back and I'm going to tie this real tight like that. And so we have done one loop and 2 tails, and look how I finished the tails at the end just by folding that ribbon right there. And so I want to make sure that this is really fluffed out. This ribbon is absolutely beautiful and is the perfect accent for this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a skewer and I'm going to spin this wire into my skewer to create a stem for the ribbon bow. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side like this. I'm gonna cut a little bit of it. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna point it towards me. I wanna see where I wanna put it. I'm gonna put it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna open up right here. I'm going to insert this bow all the way down like this. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna go like this, and I want this to touch the table because it's gonna be for an entryway table. I'm gonna give this a fluff and I'll share with you the end result. Keep watching. You guys, how absolutely gorgeous did this centerpiece turned out? Creating your very own Christmas centerpiece for an entryway table or for your dining table this Christmas season is so easy if you just follow these simple steps. Remember to keep it traditional, use a gold and burgundy traditional color scheme, and then add a gorgeous bejeweled ribbon, so that way is your statement piece. And look how beautiful it looks just touching the table. It was so easy to make. The ornaments really add that flavor of Christmas to it, and I promise you that your guests will be dazzled by this centerpiece in your home. Be sure to leave me a comment down below, and for more Christmas DIYs for 2023, stay tuned to Ramon at Home. Thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and as always, you can watch more videos right now. Until next time, bye.